Hey guys, and welcome back to Miss Azrael's Gaming. So we're going to continue with Paranormasight, the Seven Mysteries of Honjo. Let's go ahead and get logged in here. Okay, so far in the story we have gotten Tetsu and Haru together. We still haven't unlocked this spot. I think we might be able to come here and see this. I'm not sure. I do want to go back, however. I know I had sent Yako and Mio to the park, and I want to go back and send them to the school to see if they will run into Tetsu and Iro. So I want to send them to the high school instead. Yako Sakazaki, 9 a.m. Komagata High School. And so, Mio Kurozuzo and Yako Sakazaki decided on their location to investigate. Okay, so I want to send them there. Maybe that'll change something. I just kind of was thinking about that since the last time I played. Let's see. So let's... Yes, so see the Shirishi household or the Komagata High School. So let's see if this shows when Haru was there. Go alone. Nope. The road, the street's narrow, yeah. So we've already seen all this. Alright, I'll go check the house. Because this is the same stuff that we saw previously. There we go. So, you are at Komagata High. Classes are suspended for the day, so the students are just kind of wandering around aimlessly. So we'd seen all that, so here we go. Huh? That's... Boss, what is it? You want to talk to those girls? I do. Yeah, I do. This is divine intervention. We were brought here for a reason. Come on, Hiro. Huh? What? Okay, so that worked out better than the household. Could be they have to go to that later. Hey, aren't you... You must be that high schooler skirting the child labor laws who I've heard so much about. Say that again? Sorry about that, he's with me. Mr. Sasumi, if that's how you feel, maybe you should look into improving my working conditions. I'd prefer not to work for free, to be honest. Don't you worry about that. If you help us out, you can have whatever you want. Boss Street. Wait, really? Thank you so much. I've always wanted to go to a fancy sushi place. Oh yeah, like one of those places in Ginza. I've never been. Let's go. We got ourselves a deal, right, boss? The girls are at our service. Hold on now. What just happened? I never said I'd... Sushi? Looking forward to it, boss. Well, since when were you included? You guys are so funny. You should do stand-up. It's usually easier to let Iro do the talking when it comes to young people, but we only have a day. It'll be quicker if I take the reins this time. But he did manage to win them over with the promise of food. Let's see how this plays out. This is one hell of a coincidence, huh? That this random girl you know is already involved with the case. Mio Kurozuza, she's like a disciple of the Paranormal Affairs Chief. I've heard that she helps out with investigations free of charge under the guise of training. Although she's my old boss's protege, she helped me out plenty while I was in the paranormal affairs. She may look meek, but she's got strong spirit sense, sharp instincts, and courage, plus quite the brain to back it all up. That said, I can't help but think there's some kind of darkness following her around. So this is Yaku Sakazaki. She was with Mio. Could she be a friend? Did Mio finally make a friend? If she did, it would do this old man's heart good. But I better not say that out loud. Don't want to make her look bad. So, how much have you been able to figure out? Well, I know it happened around midnight last night. Someone invoked the Feast of Shadows, which boosts the power of curses, then brought forth the Seven Mysteries of Honjo. That allows even those who do not have the power to cast curses to gather soul dregs for the rite of resurrection. At least, that's my hypothesis. Sounds about right so far. As I'm sure you know, there are actually 9 mysteries, not 7. When the Feast of Shadows was cast, the curse stones appeared before those who wanted the rite at the locals of the 7 mysteries. We've managed to gather 3 curse stones so far, including the one I got first, the Evergreen Beach. You got 3 already? Wow. We have the curse stone of the Fool's Procession. Well, Yako, the girl standing behind me, does. That's me, Yako, the girl standing behind Mio. She does? Is she alright? We could take it off your hands. Well, the Feast of Shadows has no effect during the day, and there's still something I want to find out. Alright, I'll leave the Fool's Procession with you two then. Thank you. Please keep collecting the other curse stones. I'll be looking for a way to stop the Feast of Shadows. Okay, got it. That should make things go more smoothly. What about the other curse bearers? Have you run into any of them? Well, last night at school. You were here last night? Yes, you see. You two were using a spirit board? That's so cool. So that's when you ran into the Curse Echo. I'm glad you survived the encounter. Somehow, we managed to get away without accidentally setting it off. The Curse Echo we saw took the shape of a woman missing an arm and a leg. What? A woman missing an arm and a leg? That's... Oh, that's the one the bad guy has. The one-sided read. The one-sided read. This is bad. Huh? What's so bad about that one? You idiot! Think. The curse bearer of the one-sided reed is... the Najima. He admitted himself. That's his curse. Oh, that's right. Wait, but if that's the case, Najima might have been here last night. What? I mean, it's possible he was lying to us, but... What? Who's Najima? No clue. So Najima is trying to take advantage of the Feast of Shadows for his own nefarious purposes. Huh? He said he's going to massacre the city at sundown today? And he's trying to get to your daughter too? That's why we've been trying to find him, but to no avail. Honestly, this information has been the most useful we've gotten so far. So just be sure, could you tell me who else was at the school last night? Well, as far as we know, there was us, Mr. Jinochi, and one of our classmates, Hitoma. Don't forget old man Ashimiya. Wait, Hitoma. Do you mean Hitoma Okuda, second-year student? Well, yes. Why? Boss. So she was here last night. I saw Hitoma earlier, though, and she didn't seem like a curse bearer to me. You did? Did you talk to her? Yes. Would you mind if we ask you a few questions about that? Hitoma said she didn't want to talk to the police because she was afraid she'd become a suspect. So I can't tell you anything unless you swear you won't drag her into this. I see. Don't worry, this is about a different matter. A different matter? You mean about the police officer, Mr. Yoshima? You knew about that? Did Hitoma say anything about him? Yes, she did, actually. We're talking about people who were at the school last night. There's one more person, though I'm not too clear on the details. There was someone else. Apparently Hitoma actually saw Mr. Jinochi getting cursed and killed last night. What? Talk about some vital information. What she said happened was... Michio was the one who killed Mr. Jinochi? Are you sure it was really Michio that she saw? Well, that's what she told me. I wasn't there. That must mean there was another curse bearer here last night. Jinochi was killed by a curse, so someone had to have been there, whether it was Michio or not. Damn, boss. Do you think it really could have been Michio's ghost? I mean, based on what we've heard, she does have plenty of reasons to be vengeful. Calm down. Just because the paranormal exists does not mean just anything is possible. It's still possible that Najima was behind Jinochi's death. But what about Hitoma's story? About this janitor. Ashimaya, was it? How old is he? Do you know how long he's worked here? Huh? Why are you so interested in him all of a sudden? I only just transferred to the school, though, so I have no idea. He's around 50 years old. He came to our school about half a year ago. No one knows what he did before, so there are all kinds of rumors about him. I see. Thanks, I think I'm starting to get a better picture of all this. Huh. Listen up. It's not uncommon for former prisoners to find work under an alias after their release. The notoriety attached to their former name can get in the way of proper rehabilitation, you see. What are you... No way. Iro, have the officers approach the janitor. He worked the night shift, so he might still be in the overnight room. Yes, right away. Ooh, wouldn't that be creepy if that was him? Boss, bad news. Apparently the room's been empty all morning. Sounds like they've been looking to question Ashimaya too, but couldn't find him anywhere. No. That all but confirms it. Just one more thing to check. Are there any photos of this Ashimaya? The old man seriously hated getting his picture taken. He'd always avoid it. Iro, call an urgent search from Makoto Ashimaya. We can't let him get away. Yes, sir. I'll contact HQ right away. Man, what luck that they might know who he is. Oh my, I didn't expect this at all. Yeah, how could that old man have been some horrible criminal mastermind? I can't believe it. And a curse bearer on top of that. To think he was so close to us this whole time, it gives me the chills. A guy like that really shouldn't have been allowed to work at a high school. Let's hope it isn't already too late. Oh, I may have shown Ashimaya my curse stone last night. What? I don't like this one bit. Najima did say he wasn't specifically targeting curse bearers, but I'm glad nothing happened to you. Wait, but then, could it have been old man Ashimaya who attacked you in the hallway? I almost told him that you were still in the building, too. What? You did? Yikes, good thing I didn't say anything. You might have gotten very lucky there, kid. This is too much. I hope they find him soon. Come on, long arm of the law, help us. To put a stop to the Feast of Shadows, it would help if I knew more about the curses of these seven mysteries first came about. In that case, you're probably best off talking to that crabby research guy. You mean Mr. Arisha? I would very much like to talk to him. Alright, he's a teacher here too, isn't he? You would know him already. He might be more inclined to talk if it's one of his students doing the asking. Do you know where he is? I do. We tried to talk to him, but he refused to cooperate. But you two should give it a try. He's at his usual cafe working on his papers. The cafe. Oh, Kirokio Cafe in Zawa. Thanks. We'll head over there now. Squirrels say we're not allowed to go to cafes, though. Don't worry about it all out. Thank you. Huh? That's all it takes? Okay, so they have their next area they're going to. There must be a mastermind behind everything. Someone who orchestrated all this for a reason. I want to find out why. Hitomi did say that Mr. Yoshimi entrusted her with something. He did? What was it? Yoshima gave her a talisman? Yes. Apparently he asked her to look for another one just like it, one that Michio had. What kind of talismans could they be? Boss? Doesn't ring a bell. But if Yoshima was talking about them with his dying breath, they must have been pretty important. Did they find a talisman on Michio where her body was found? I'll check, but if they did, Yoshima would have had plenty of time to retrieve it before he died. Right. Would you consider giving us Hotimi's contact information? I'd like to talk to her about this talisman. I'm not sure. She never opened up to anyone except Mr. Yoshima. I'm no good, huh? I was friends with Yoshima, though. You don't seem like too bad of a guy. Not all that scary for a cop. But I doubt that'll be enough for her. She really doesn't want to end up becoming a suspect. To be honest, she was even a bit wary of us. Well then. Do you think she'd talk to Yoshima's fiancé? Haven't they met before? Oh, they have. She told us about that. Yes, she might be willing to talk to her. Alright then, we better find her fast. You haven't been able to reach her? That's a little worrying. Mayo Kazugawa will let you know as soon as we manage to contact her. Okay, I'll be waiting to give Hotima's contact information to her. Oh, right, one more thing. Hotima told me that Mr. Yoshima gave her instructions in the event that something happened to him. He told her to give the talisman to Mr. Nakagoshi from the police headquarters. What? So it was a Nakagoshi case? Why would Yoshima tell her that? Could you check on that? I will, but I don't know if they'll pick up when I call. Is he with the Paranormal Affairs Bureau? Well, yes, Nakagoshi's the chief, but he's almost never in, so I don't really know the guy. To be honest, I'm not even sure if he exists or even if he's just a figurehead. I've never spoken to him myself. All of Paranormal Affairs cases are referred to as Nakagoshi cases. Jeez, what's up with that? That amulet Hitimo was looking for may be the missing puzzle piece to this mystery. Let's see if that was it. Yep. Okay, so let's talk to Yako. What was that thing you mentioned about Michio earlier? Something about a grudge? Did you know anything about her? What's your relation? I'm her friend. I was actually planning to resurrect her at first. Ah, I see. We gained quite a lot of information from you two. It's only fair we share as well. Tell her, Hiro. Alright. Keep in mind that this is just a theory, though. Okay. After re-examining the crime scene, Yoshima concluded that Michio's death wasn't a suicide, but a vehicular collision. Wait, what? An accident? Being hit by a speeding truck or van would have resulted in similar injuries. The investigation was ordered by Yoshima, so it seems he had his doubts about it being a suicide. What? A van? Speeding? Yukio, what's wrong? Are you okay? A van. There's a young man in the driver's seat, in the passenger seat, a woman. Yako. Yes? Wait, was I? Are you back now? How do you feel? You're covered in sweat. Yeah, I'm okay, I think. Sorry, I went a little crazy there. It's no problem. As long as you're okay. That was quite the surprise, though. What the heck was that? Yoshima talked to you about Michio, didn't he? Well, he didn't give me any specifics if you're wondering about that. So I don't know what was truly on Michio's mind either. Right. Do you have any idea why Janucci was so scared of Michio? Well, about that. I'm not sure exactly how to put this, but... I see. Well, I half expected it was something like that. Thank you for telling me. Sorry, it's hard to explain. I wonder what he got his hands on to be able to blackmail her like that. Michio, what happened? Okay, so we've talked to them... Yeah, although it doesn't have a check mark on her like it does her, so... Okay, so Forensics is still investigating the area. I didn't really want to bring these kids to a place like this, but there were too many onlookers outside for us to speak comfortably. Besides, it would be good to have Mio look around the scene, too. What's that rope all about? It indicates where Janucci's body was found. They've moved his body, but this way we still have an idea of how it was found. Yikes, that's a little gross. You can even see how his arms and legs are all... Ugh. Cool it, Hiro. You're scaring her. That kind of stuff is a little much for a kid. Hey, I'm pretty sure she only asked because you were staring at it so intently. Alright, that's enough. Mio, what do you think? I knew it the second I looked at the scene. You're right. Traces of a curse still linger here. I figured as much. Does that mean Janucci was killed by one of the curses of the Seven Mysteries? Yes, a strong curse like that always leaves behind a trace. Wow, Mio, you're so calm. Are you used to this kind of thing? I wouldn't say I'm used to it. It just comes with experience, I guess. No, I've heard some stories about you. Didn't you investigate a gruesome scene where someone had been killed by a paranormal attack without even breaking a sweat? Stop it, Mr. Susumi. She's going to get the wrong idea. Whoa, that's amazing. Mio, you're a professional. You think? Totally, you're cool, even in the face of death. That's awesome. When you put it like that, I'm not sure how awesome it is. Hey boss, Forensics is calling. I'll go see what they have to say. Sure, thanks. Boss, they found this on the ground a short distance away from the scene. What is that? A ribbon? Yeah, the kind you use to tie up your hair. What? I've seen that ribbon before. You have? Go on then. That's the ribbon that Michio always used to wear. What? Doesn't that mean that Michio was here? Are you sure? Definitely. I have the same one at home. We bought them together. That has to be hers. Then, did she come back to life somehow? But how? Interesting. If I was Michio and I came back to life, where would I go? That's the question. She got her revenge on Janucci, but she may have more revenge to dish out. Is there anyone else she'd have a grudge against? Well, what What about the guy who killed her in the collision? If she really did come back to life, then it's terribly sad that she's spending her new chance at life like this. Being obsessed with revenge is such a tragic way to live. I'm afraid that's all we can tell you. Don't worry, you were a big help, thank you. We should start our search for Najima and Mayu Kozawa. It might be worth it to check Michio's house as well, just in case. Let's use the school as our base of operations. If anything happens, go to one of the officers hanging around here. Got it. Thank you and good luck. We'll go talk to Mr. Arishi about a way to lift this curse. Alright, boss, let's get going whenever you're ready. Okay, so now we can leave here. Okay, let's go ahead and we'll stick with Susumi. Haru and Richter visit Michio's home, having determined her to be a key player in the unresolved kidnapping case for a year before. As the complicated story begins to unravel, they encounter two men. Okay, so Haru Tsujima, 10 a.m. near the Shirishi household. Ma'am, allow me to introduce one of our country's most elite detectives. The name's Jun Iro. I'd hardly call myself a lead, but either way, it's nice to meet you. This here is the brilliant Chief Inspector Susumi, and yes, he's just as rough and tumble as he looks. Sometimes I really don't know if you're complimenting or putting me down. So you two are detectives? This is my client, Miss Haru Shigima. Her father's a big deal in the police himself, so remember to mind your manners. A bigwig named Shigima? But boss, you know this guy? Shit, I've heard the name, but you know I don't keep track of who's who in the upper echelons. There's no need to worry, I'm my own person after all, and my father has nothing to do with any of this. Oh, did you hear that, boss? Looks like you're getting off easy again this time. Don't make it sound like I'm involved in some shady business, it ain't like that. You both seem rather jovial despite being detectives, how rare. All the police officers I've met have always been so dull. Well, you won't find any dull cops here. We'll round up all your criminals with a smile, that's our motto. How lovely, keep it up. Just hold on one second, this is the first I'm hearing of that. Well, you're right about them not being your typical detectives. A young and energetic detective, he seems to have a strong sense of justice. If my son had the chance to grow older, perhaps he would have become an officer just like him. What brings you here, Richter? You on a case? That's right, I'm picking up the police's slack. I trust you remember the kidnapping and murder case from last year. Oh, I remember now. You're that hero, Shigima, from the kidnapping case. Huh? Did I miss something? Don't be an idiot. It was the case where Munsada Tsujima's grandson was kidnapped. Which must have been your son, ma'am. Indeed, the story was suppressed by the news. In the end, it was considered a huge failure on the police department's part. Most of the investigation was conducted in secret. And unfortunately, the department is unwilling to reopen the case. Any investigation carried out afterwards turned up nothing at all, which is why I'm now on the job. So they never caught the culprit, huh? That's rough. So your findings have brought you to this place, then? That's right, an individual connected to the case used to live around here. Used to? That's right, as of last week, they're deceased. We'd hoped to talk to the family. No one was home when I checked the last time, so we figured we'd try again. Interesting. It sure doesn't look good on the police to be mishandling cases like these. If there really was a culprit, it should be our responsibility to bring them to justice. Well, I do consider the police my people. So you consider the blame to be shared. You've got a stern side as well, I see. Okay, so let's just repeat. By the way, ma'am, this might be sudden, but there's something I'd like to confirm with you. And that is? Do you happen to know anything about the Seven Mysteries of Honjo? Sorry, Chief, but that's hardly... With all due respect, investigator, I think my question was addressed to the lady. If you insist. What do you say, ma'am? Can you tell us anything? I've heard of the Seven Mysteries, but this talk of curses eludes me. Is that so? Well, I'm sorry for the intrusion. Meant to look at him first. He seems like he's got a lot of experience working the streets. Most of the officers I know are the bureaucratic desk jockey types. The contrast is rather striking. Come to think of it, I heard some things about this area last night. Something about a strange yet conspicuous man dressed in white loitering around. Wait a second. I assume they were talking about you, investigator. Well, I won't argue that I'm strange and conspicuously dressed in white. And as it turns out, I was out here last night to conduct my investigation. Did you run into anything strange or out of the ordinary? Out of the ordinary? I guess I did observe a few suspicious characters. You were asking about curses just now. Why would a public servant be interested in the occult? Boss, Richter's a smart man. He can help us if we tell him what we won't know. I can't promise I'll be of any help to you, but I'm interested in hearing what you got to say. Something is happening in Honjo, isn't there? It must be something big if they got you head office guys on it. Well, I guess it's alright. Desperate times call for desperate measures. Thank you, boss. Listen closely to what we're about to say, Richter. So, by using curses to commit murder, these people collect soul dregs to perform the rite of resurrection. And these curse stones are somehow connected to the Seven Mysteries of Honjo. It's a tough story to swallow, but I don't see a reason to doubt you either. We figured the strange occurrences happened around here recently are connected to these curses. To get this situation under control, we've been searching for the curse bearers to confiscate their curse stones. Do you have any information that might help us? That's tough. I never expected curses and other mumbo-jumbo to play into all this. But if we're talking shady characters, there was this middle-aged fellow I saw on South Wigarsu Street. He had an average build. He was anxious, like he was searching for prey. Boss, what do you think? Well, considering the location, it could have been Hideki Arashashi. We already got his curse stone. Impressive. You two are working quick. Did you see anything else? Not that I can remember. That's a shame. If you see any characters who look like they might be carrying a curse stone, it'd be a huge help if you let us know. Absolutely. I'll let you know if we find anything. Richter, perhaps you could lend a hand on our case, too. There's a number of people we can't track, and finding missing persons happens to be your specialty, you know? I hate to disappoint you, but I'm busy enough with this case. The faith of my clients is what keeps me afloat. I have to prioritize requests by the order in which they come. I see. Well, can't say that's not fair. What do you need a private investigator for, anyway? The cops should have plenty of bright folks to throw at a job. True, but this is an ordinary case we're dealing with here. Okay, so... said everything from him. Looks like we could talk to him again, huh? By the way, that reminds me, Richter. Yes? You said the person who used to live here died last week? You wouldn't be referring to Michio Shirashi by chance? You knew? I thought so. It seems like we're here for the same reason then. Seriously? Michio is involved with curses and magic? Strictly speaking, the curse part isn't our concern. We're looking into Yoshima's case. Yoshima? Oh right, Hajime Yoshima's. That's right, he died in the job. I'm sure you've heard of it. I heard. It was a most unfortunate loss. So there's a connection between Hajime Yoshima's of the Juvenile Division and Michio. Well, hold on. Let's focus on Michio for a second. You think she had something to do with the kidnapping? Talk about unforeseen developments. Exchanging information should prove mutually beneficial. I'll tell you what I know, but in turn, I want the full scoop on your findings concerning Michio. Sure, to tell you the truth. What? You believe Michio's ghost is the one who killed Mr. Jinochi? So he wasn't just mumbling nonsense? I mean, we haven't fully confirmed anything yet, but the testimonies we've heard and the evidence we found point in that direction. Testimony? You mean from those, psychic high schoolers? Didn't they also say there was a chance Michio hadn't killed herself? Wait, if that's all true, then... Did you figure something out? Kincharo Iwa, huh? Kinchuraro Iwa. He'll be the next victim. We have to open the door to the Shirishi house. We need to look inside. Hey, what's gotten into you? Boss? I'm sure the landlord would give us the key if we asked. Screw that. You know how long that could take? We can ask for permission later. Richter. Hey, Richter, calm down. We can't just... Oh, so that definitely took a turn. Take that, you shitty door. That's how you do it. Richter, get a hold of yourself. I see you're still the same as always. Everyone, come quick. Look at this. Ooh, he's already dead. Ew, and his arm's all broken. Oh. Whoa, what's up with this room? Boss, there's a dead body in here. Whoa, could that be Michio's dad? Nah, he's your stepdad at best, if that. It's got to be the body of Kincharo Iwa. There's no doubt about it. This man's a goner. He's gotten real messed up. Looks like he's been like this for a while. I'd say it happened last night. Iro, did you find Jinochi's body in the same state? Now that you mention it, it looked as though Kohei Jinochi had died from a number of heavy blows. What are you suggesting, investigator? It was Michio Shirishi's. She's alive. She used the power of the curse to get back at the men who ruined her life. That's ridiculous. You're suggesting she actually revived? It's got to be that, and if she's alive, then... My apologies for interrupting. I know we've just arrived at an interesting plot point, but do you really think a dead girl is going around taking revenge from beyond the grave? Consider this. What if Michio Shirishi never died? But seeing as you've come this far, I'm sure you already know the truth, don't you? And so, I would have you answer me a question. Where in Honjo was Michio Shirishi at the hour of 8 o'clock this morning? I don't know. I thought she was dead. I have no idea. Can I look at my files? Like... Well, she was in South Waguri Street when they found her. Michio carried an old talisman, a memento of her father, with her at all times. Do we have a picture of the janitor? I don't remember his name. I don't think we do. Oh, wait, no, that's not him. There, that's him. I mean, that could be him if he lost a lot of weight. They both have black hair. He would be older. Now, I know this doesn't answer the question that I was just asked, but I'm leaning towards... Does it... I don't remember what they... Okay, it says her father died 3 years before they moved into their new house. What if her mother just told her that, and this is her father, who is technically... Where did he go? Now I've lost him. This guy. And it's not her killing anybody, but he has come back and using this curses and is killing anybody that had anything to do with his daughter's death. Or her mistreatment, maybe what she was being blackmailed on. That's what I'm kind of leaning towards. As far as where she is, I don't know, is there a graveyard? Because I don't know. Where was Michio Shirashi at 8 o'clock this morning? I don't know, at her house killing her dad or stepdad? I don't know. I seriously have no stinking clue. I don't know. South Workers. This is where they found her. I have no clue. I'm just gonna go with that. I don't know. I'm probably wrong. I see. So that's what you think. But you're wrong. That's just what I need him to tell me. Let's take a moment to reconsider what you know and choose again, shall we? So that's probably not right. I don't know, dude. Like, I still freaking thought she was dead. I'm just gonna go with, let's go with this one. Maybe he'll let me pick everything. That's what you think. Let's take a moment to reconsider. I don't know. I'm just gonna end up going through everything. She's at the candy shop. I got no clue. I see very well. Congratulations, you are correct. You got it wrong 2 times. Well, it's a trivial matter. Hey, at least there was only 2. It may have been easier to reach that conclusion had you considered the cause of death. Let's get back to the story then, shall we? I've taken up enough of your time. Well, supposedly she was hit by a van, but what does that have to do with the candy store? I don't know. What? So you really think Michio Shirishi is alive? Just think it through and it all becomes obvious. It tracks, but do you really think that girl could have managed all of this? First of all, Iro, go report this to HQ. Understood. I'll get on it right away. That looks like the guy. That looks like Fujima. I'll start investigating this place. It sure isn't lacking stuff that needs looking at. There's a bunch of photos of the same person pasted on the wall over there. Huh? Whoa now. Hold on. These photos. These are all of Najima. Gross. Really? Come to think of it, he was in the papers a lot back in the day. Oh, there's even more pasted up over here. These are all cutouts from newspapers and magazines about the Najima murders. I don't get it. Why the weirdo shrine? Let's keep looking around. If they're saying she's alive, I'm telling you it's her father. It's off-putting to look at, but I can't help but wonder what in the world this is. They're magic runes. They're used in Western black magic rituals. Most of the time, they're useless imitations, though. I wouldn't get too excited about it. Oh my, who knew the chief inspector was such an expert on the occult? I just chanced upon that information. That girl with the spirit sense we mentioned, she's pretty informed on the subject. Someone was attempting to perform Western black magic in this place. Pretty absurd, if you ask me. Of course, the person in question was dead serious about it all. Okay, so Western black magic. While magic is often classed as a branch of mysticism or may variously refer to the likes of witchcraft or astrology, here it refers specifically to Western black magic. In the Middle Ages, the line between science and magic was blurred, with the pursuit of the supernatural considered a legitimate academic discipline. Astrology was regarded akin to astronomy, while alchemy was accepted as scientific fact and would eventually evolve into what is known today as chemistry. One discipline, however, was considered wicked and shunned accordingly: black magic, the practice of using magical knowledge to strike a bargain with demons. In contrast to the socially acceptable subjects studied by the intelligentsia, black magic was most prolific among the lower classes. It was the common people who suffered most from the ills of the day, war, famine, and sickness, which perhaps led them to seek aid from unholy powers. As heresy, these rituals and spells were nowhere to be found in orthodox modes of teaching, but instead were recorded in tomes of dubious credibility. Looks like things spread around here have been like this for a while now. This ritual, or whatever, was something he attempted up recently. Plenty of the neighbors mentioned having heard strange mantra-like noises coming from here during the night. You think Iwa was the one chanting? Hard to say. Could have been one of the Shirishis as well. If we look through these books in the back, we might learn whatever it is they were trying to do. You know, another thing I was thinking about, it's possible that Yako, she might be possessed by Michio. And so that little flashback that she had about being hit by the car was Michio remembering that inside of Yako. So it could be that she's possessed and maybe she's been doing these killings. There are old books scattered everywhere. I wonder what they're about. Many of them are written in foreign language. It'll be a pain to look through all these. Let's save them for later and continue to look around. There are candles and stones with inscriptions placed all over. Are these tools for some ritual? Hey, don't touch anything you hear. That's right. Considering this is a murder scene, we ought to leave everything as it is. All of this can be used as evidence. If anyone besides forensics toys with it, it'll cause trouble down the road. Okay. It's the same man in every picture. That's Najima. Wow, this is quite the spectacle. I don't think I'll ever manage to erase this from my mind. Don't worry, Richter. You're quite the spectacle yourself. Do you mean to compare me with the likes of a bizarre criminal? Look at these. Pictures of Najima cut out from newspapers and magazines. Whoever put these up was obsessed. I wonder what their intent was. You think the Shirishis are somehow connected to Najima's case? Perhaps they did this as not to forget a grudge or something. It's crazy to think Najima might be involved in all this, too. Do you think he might have anything to do with the body here? Maybe. The man's already out on parole. He's a curse bearer with a curse stone now. He announced that from sundown today he'll be going on a killing spree. Oh dear. There's an emergency search underway as we speak, but no one's yet managed to get a hold of the bastard. So he hasn't changed his ways. That doesn't bode well. To tell you the truth, the lady here isn't completely unconnected from Najima murders either. You don't say. That's right, we talked about it last night. 20 years ago, I found the hand in the Sumatra River that brought the incident to light. You don't say. You were the kid from back then? You were really brave. You did a great deed. You were the detective I spoke with. I had no idea. So you two have met before. Fancy that. I've been worried that Najima might bear resentment towards you, ma'am. You might be right. Unfortunately, that asshole is quite the resentful type. Oh dear. That asshole. I wonder who put the idea in his head, and now he's got the one-sided read, too. He's threatening to massacre the people of Honjo on sundown. Seriously? On top of that, he's been itching to get revenge on me as well. Of all things, the man's gone and threatened to kill my daughter. Damn, that's quite the threat. Certainly you can't afford to stay put here. The fucker wants to get us all antsy. When I finally get to arrest him, it'll be with a cool head. Not gonna give him the pleasure, huh? Well, if Iowa and Najima have anything to do with each other, then this room might hold a clue to Najima's location. Let's hope so. Well, I mean, I guess Najima might not be her father if it was 20 years ago. Because I think she's supposed to be like 17 or 18. I don't know, unless he got like bailed out early on or something. This drawer is really old. Chief Inspector, do you mind if I look inside? Huh? I mean, in normal cases, only the police would allow to touch things, right? Right. Eero's in here, so let me take a look at it. There's just clothes in here. Not much variety either. Can't say they were big spenders. Well, I was hoping to find a kind of talisman here, but I guess we're not so lucky. I see. Thank you anyway. These aren't just cut from publications. They even snapped a number of shots of their own. They must have admired him. Why else would they have collected so many pictures? Whatever the case, it's certain they were obsessed. Trying to make sure I'm getting everything. The person who put all these photos up must have been obsessed with Najima. They might have had some relation to Najima's victims, or perhaps it was the opposite. The opposite? What if it wasn't loathing, but admiration? But then... With the window and storm shutter closed, no light gets in here at all. It's pitch black. The neighbors mentioned they started to keep the house shut like this not long ago. This sliding door leads to the kitchen. It barely fits the frame. There's nothing around to confirm his identity, but by the looks of him, I'd say he's Konchiro Iowa. You seen him before? I heard he had a criminal record, so I assumed he wouldn't have held a respectable occupation. Is this what a curse does to a person? Ma'am, it'd be better not to look so closely. It's amazing. Oh, it's weird she would say that. Cruel is what it is. Okay, so I think I've looked at everything. Let's try the old books again. What do you say, Chief? Would you let me look through it if I wore gloves? Well, it's not like I'm any help with foreign languages. Go ahead. Thank you. This seems to be a book on Western black magic. The same runes are written here alongside detailed description of the procedures. I suppose you'd call these grimoires. It's all a bunch of nonsense if you ask me, though. You think this Iowa guy was studying them, perhaps to perform some kind of ritual? There are a bunch of handwritten notes beside the grimoires. Whoever it was, they were serious about this. Iowa doesn't look the type to be into this stuff, but you shouldn't judge a book by its cover. But why would he be studying black magic? According to the materials, this here rune is for the restoration of youth. Perhaps he was trying to become young again. This over here seems to be black magic related to resurrection. Each one of these spells requires a human sacrifice. Talk about dangerous. Resurrection, like the rite? I guess no matter what part of the world, people will turn to the occult for similar reasons. Well, maybe somebody resurrected, Michio. What is it? This looks like a journal. It's probably Iowa's. A journal? His writing is surprisingly thorough. It's almost as if he was writing a report for someone. Oh wow, now this is something. What is it? What did he write? This is quite the find. Let me give you a summary. So this Contrero, Iowa fellow, he'd been searching for a spell to restore youth for years. So he was into black magic from the start. He believed if he could learn to successfully perform the spell, he could then use it to earn a fortune. To tell you the truth, it seems he was already getting funded after he acquired this grimoire. You don't say. This is starting to sound kind of familiar. But first, let's find out how he got his hands on this grimoire. It seems that Najima told him where he could obtain the book when they were both in prison. What? That's nearly too much of a coincidence. Likely not coincidence. It seems like Iwa took an interest in the Najima murders after it made the news. He admired him rather passionately. He might even say he worshipped the man. Worshipped Najima of all people. This was a time when students were itching to rebel. Anyone who did something to shake the world was bound to gather admirers. Iwa had been collecting these photos ever since that time. And since he just so happened to land in prison at the same time as Najima, he made sure to get in contact. This is a lot. I mean, even having it all laid out like this? The thought of Najima being involved with these grimoires is staggering. I don't think we ever had anything pointing to that. What's the connection? To be honest, it's a shock to me too. 4 years we've been scratching our heads over the motives behind the Najima murders. Yep, it's been a mystery to all of us from the start. Whoa, now? Wait just a minute, do you think... No way, are you saying... That's right, the murderers might have been for a ritual. He was attempting to perform black magic. The instructions written down for the sacrificial offering match up exactly with the acts carried out by Najima. You've got to be kidding me. So that sadistic crap he was going on was all for the black magic. That's what the evidence suggests. However, Najima tried to do some type of resurrection ritual, but Iwa had different motives. Chief Inspector, you might think this is all the stuff of fantasy, but that doesn't refute when Najima and Iwa were both acting in earnest. This is batshit insane. You're telling me that nutjob did all this for some hokey-pokey resurrection? Shit. Resurrection! That means there must have been someone Najima wanted to bring back to life. Damn. That's it. That has to be it. Fucking hell, it all makes sense now. What is it? So about the Najima murders. There's some information that's been kept from the public. Go on. When we broke into his house and arrested him, we also found a baby. A baby? It was a girl, looked to be about 6 months old, but she was covered in filth. She looked so weak and sickly. We called the medics right away. If we were a second later, I'm sure the girl would have died. So was Najima the father? He told us he'd found her under a bridge. He found her? She was abandoned? I've heard of parents threatening to leave their children under a bridge as a threat, but to think it really happens. I suppose there are those cases where a dead newborn's found stuff in coin lockers, so it's not without precedent. Whatever the case, we never found out the truth. But there's one rumor from back then that I could never get out of my mind. And it's starting to sound more likely now. Well, I'm sure this isn't the first time you've heard of it. Many believe Najima's guilty of more crimes than what got him convicted. Back then, a lot of girls went missing. Yeah, I remember all that. Among the high school girls that might have been murdered, or maybe I should say sacrificed, was a girl who's pregnant. Goodness. That's horrific. He killed her and dismembered her body. And we thought maybe the baby we found is what he pulled out from inside of her. Don't misunderstand me. This is all speculation on top of more speculation here. But I, for one, never believed that man would just take in a baby he found under a bridge. I'm feeling sick. Stay strong, ma'am. I know this is hard to hear. Like I said, don't take that to be the full truth. We were running on speculation back then. Now that this whole resurrection magic has come into play, we should consider the possibility it was his child. And that maybe he was trying to revive whoever the mother might have been. It's just a theory, but my life would be a tad easier if it were true. That's an interesting thought. If there's anyone Najima would want to resurrect, a deceased wife is as good a guess as any. The fact that he obtained a curse stone suggests he has interest in the rite of resurrection. Damn, you're right. And here I was thinking that he was only after the curse's power to massacre. Chief Inspector? Yeah? What happened to the child? Without a birth registration on file, the best we could do was find the girl some suitable foster parents. It was decided to keep the circumstances secret for the sake of the child's future. Well, I'm glad she was taken care of. Okay, so yeah. Somebody is his kid. And it's either Michio. It's also possible it could be her as well. Because she has problems with her parents and all this other stuff. Maybe they aren't her biological parents. And that's why that one police officer was always looking out for her. Because they were afraid she would go down the road of her father. I don't know, though. Don't mean to derail the conversation, but there's still more written in Iwa's journal. We know Iwa had managed to obtain the grimoire thanks to the advice he got from his idol, Najima, while in prison. After conducting research and gathering more information, he determined he had a chance to get rich quick. Right, he thought he could make some money if he could successfully use rejuvenation magic. Correct. Turns out someone gave him the idea. And get this. It was the one and only queen and chairwoman of Haku Soaps herself, Natsu Yamori. Wait, the chairwoman of Haku Soaps? So that's where this leads. Here, let me read what he wrote. The queen of Haku has strange fear of growing old. Her fear of death is even worse. If she does die, she wishes to be revived, and she will spend whatever it takes to preserve her beauty. Magic, rituals, and rites. She'll use whatever means necessary. Her tenacity is unbelievable. She was apparently investing money into any research on resurrection, the restoration of youth, and the like. That's why she wanted the stones. So she would even throw her money at the occult. The places greed will take you. Well then, that brings us to Hadike Arishashi. She presumably funded his research into the rite of resurrection as well. That's what it all points towards. I wouldn't be surprised if the witch of Haku pounced at the rumors of the rite of resurrection. It's starting to sound likely. It might also be why she's spreading the rumor about having godly powers. It's a convenient cover for if she becomes young again. Godly powers? What's that all about? You can ignore that. Either way, I think Iowa took the payments he was getting for his research to seduce a family into taking him in to keep a low profile. The Shirishi family, Michio and her mother, Toshiko, were just his unlucky marks. And this is where you get involved. Are you feeling steady, ma'am? Huh? This has something to do with me. Are you saying that? What are you talking about? Let's go with are you saying that? No, you can't mean. You realize then. Perhaps... I don't know. I just went with it. Let's go with Michio. Oh, wait. Whoop, whoop, whoop. It said something about child. Okay, maybe it is. Maybe Michio's sorry. Living sacrifice. No. I have no clue. Because it's not his child. Oh my gosh. I don't know, man. I'm really bad with this stuff. I don't... If they'd give me a little more hint what they're going for. Netsu Yamamori's. Somebody's child was a sacrifice. That's what I think it was. But I don't... Shirishi's child was the sacrifice. Toshiko Shirishi's child was the sacrifice. I don't know, that's probably not... What? Ma'am, please calm down. That wasn't it. Oh. Was I mistaken? Then what did you mean? Ma'am, please calm down. Iwa moved in with the Shirishis to practice his magic. He needed sacrifice to perform his youth restoration spell, but that meant extracting the life force from someone young. So it was Iwa. This man... Iwa worshipped Najima, so he must have also despised Najima's detractors. Not to mention he was captured and sent to jail once before. Surely he had a bone to pick with the police. So when he realized he had the chance to both avenge Najima, embarrass the police, and acquire a living sacrifice at the same time... Fuck. You got it. Iwa kidnapped Haru Sugima's son and managed to score 3 birds with 1 stone. You're telling me that horrid man, he never had the intention of returning my child. I didn't see her up on there. I thought there might have been a reason why the kidnapper seemed to be mocking the police. He never wanted money. His aim was to humiliate the force. It all makes sense. He must have used Michio to lower your boy's defenses and then kidnap him on his way back home. That man, he took Tsuchi. Ma'am, please calm down. I understand, but you must remember to breathe. You don't understand. You have absolutely no idea what I'm going through. This isn't a joke. I wouldn't expect the police to understand. You'll never understand. Living sacrifices? What a stupid, stupid idea from a stupid little man. Okay, ma'am, let's just take a moment to breathe. Why don't we go get some fresh air? I can't believe this. This is... Chief, I think it's best we take our leave. But before we go, there's one more important piece of information noted in his journal. Oh? Iwa got in contact with Najima last year after Najima was released on parole. He provided him with accommodations and financial support. Is that so? He managed to find a hideout for Najima to stay in. Damn it. If anything, rather than use his money to support the Shirishis, it seems most went to Najima instead. If Najima's lurking around anywhere at the moment, it's probably in that hideout. Did he write where it is? Unfortunately, no, not that I can tell. But it seems Michio knew where it was. She never met with Najima in person, but she was made to go in and clean up among other things. What good is that information? The girl's already dead. Wait, no. She's alive. That's right. Michio Shirishi is alive. If you can find her and get her to talk, you can get her to spill the beans on his hideout too. Investigator, I'm asking you. I should be going. The lady's not well. I still don't get how she's alive. Did, she fake her death? With the help of that one police officer? Oh, dude, what did they add? Okay, so we read that, his deceased body was discovered at the Shirishi's home. Iwa once made a living by placing advertisements in magazines to sell phony magic items and good luck charms. He held a nostalgic yearning for the post-war era when things and people were simple and has nothing but negative things to say about the rapidly developing, ostentatious world of late. Radical in his belief that it would be better to tear down society and start over again, Iwa was discontent with his life spent poking around in society's cesspools to make a few coins. When the Najima murders were widely reported in the media, it had great impact on Iwa, as he witnessed how a single act by a single man could cause a major rift in society. Perceiving Najima as a great hero, he began collecting every piece of information he could find on the man. Iwa was later arrested for his illegal business practices in a chance meeting with Najima during his incarceration solidified his idolization. He was captivated by Najima's talk of black magic and following his release acquired the grimoire Najima had hidden away. As for Toshiko Shirishi, Iwa set his sights on her after encountering her at her part-time job. When he learned that the Shirishi family was in financial trouble and could not afford to send Michio to college, he turned on the charm and took advantage of their weakness by offering them money. He revealed his true colors, however, after moving in with the family, and used violence and money to keep Toshiko and Michio under his thumb. All the while, his belief in black magic deepened, and he found a sponsor in the Haku Corporation. Iwa forced the Shirishi family to perform various rituals, with any attempts to resist being met with merciless beatings. The mother and daughter were helpless to resist. After Haku offered Iwa great sums to intensify his work with black magic, he set his mind to sacrificing a child in order to perform a youth restoration spell. For this purpose, he chose Sujima, the son of Haru Sujima, against whom Aiwa held a grudge. He attempted to enlist Michio so as not to alarm the boy, and when she resisted, beat her mother 20 times. With Michio's assistance, Aiwa kidnapped Suichi and locked him up in the Shirishi house, and told the young and courageous boy that he'd kill Michio if he tried to run. While his actions were motivated by a personal grudge against the police, it was first and foremost an attempt to create a societal uproar and breakdown in public order. So Aiwa painted the crime as a regular kidnapping, demanded a ransom from the family. However, because of the embargo on the press, the kidnapping did not cause a public outcry akin to that of the Najima murders. Infuriated, Aiwa had Toshiko perform the sacrificial ritual by threatening to kill Michio if she refused. Toshiko killed Suichi in his sleep, but the spell failed, for which Aiwa blamed her. Warning Michio to keep silent about the murder to avoid incriminating her mother, Aiwa dumped the boy's body in the nearby river. The tiny corpse was found a week later in the Sumata River after floating through several canals in Honjo. Having drifted for days in the polluted waters, little evidence remained. Although Aiwa performed no further sacrifices, his devotion to black magic only increased. Toshiko and Michio spent their days consumed by guilt, forced to continually serve Aiwa until the day they died. Dang. I did not see any of that coming. Are you feeling better now that we've gotten some fresh air, ma'am? I'm fine. Suddenly finding out who the kidnapper was really made me lose my wits. We managed to solve the kidnapping case by pure luck here. You're right, but Richter, I feel grateful towards Michio. Because she killed the kidnapper? There's that too. But it's for something else. If Michio is the one killing all these people, then she must have acquired quite a sizable amount by now. Soul dregs, I mean. Hey, Richter. Whether the kidnapper's dead or alive, it doesn't mean a thing. Revenge won't bring my boy back. And if Najima is planning to cause a massacre to collect soul dregs, then all the better. I won't give up on resurrection. So, I'm counting on you. Okay, standing by. Too much to handle. Okay, let's hit standing by. So, at their Shirishi home, Tasumi and Iro learn the truth about many things, including the death of Aiwa. They hurry to the high school after learning that Michio Shirishi knew the whereabouts of Najima's hideout. Tetsu Tasumi, 1 p.m. Come on, got a high school. Boss, I just talked to Sumata police. Oh, what now? They found an abandoned van in the Chiba Mountains that looked like it'd been in an accident. They couldn't lift any fingerprints from it, but they found blood splatters on the front. And guess what? The blood is a perfect match for Michio's. Oh. So it must be the van that hit Michio. You got it. It's all thanks to Yoshima that we were able to find that out. The license plate had been removed, though, and they even scraped off the vehicle identification number. It'll take a while to identify the owner. Now they're trying to figure out if the van was sighted anywhere between the scenes of the crime and where it was dumped. Got it. Thanks for the report. Still doesn't look tired after all this running around. Wish I had all that stamina. By the way, boss, we've confirmed that Michio died in a vehicular collision. But are we sure that it was really an accident? Good question. I was wondering the same thing. The damage done by the collision indicates the driver was traveling at considerable speed, but there were no brake marks to be found. Exactly, which suggests they must have been intentionally targeting Michio. Then that was the motive, you think? Who would have reason to kill Michio? The first person that comes to mind is Aiwa. After all, she knew about his crimes. But then, Aiwa was supposedly able to control Michio by intimidation alone. There's also that teacher who was taking advantage of Michio, Kohei Januchi. But to say he killed her to stop people from finding out that he was blackmailing her doesn't seem likely somehow. You're right. Though both of them have fallen prey to her curse. That's true. In that case, it's quite possible she'll also decide to enact revenge on the person who ran her over. Not just possible, she may have already done it. Last night, just like with Iwa. Is there anything else that could have served as a motive? That talisman, maybe. The one Yoshimi was looking for? Oh, do you think someone wanted to take it from her? Well, the talisman wasn't found in her remains, nor in her house. But doesn't a hit and run seem like too drastic a measure to go for a little talisman? Then in the end, it might have just been an unfortunate accident after all. Yeah, it looks that way. Either way, what we need is a testimony from Michio herself. With a bit of luck, we may be able to ask her what happened during the crash ourselves. Yeah, I can't wrap my head around that particular development. I still have my doubts that it'll be so easy. Either way, we won't be able to do this unless Mio and Yako turn up. I'd rather have them come sooner rather than later, but I guess we just have to wait. Shall we head inside? Alright then. Boss, I thought we were going to wait for Mio in the school. It's nice we got permission to use the school as our base of operation. The principal and head teacher were a little reluctant at first, but they were convinced that it would help the investigation. Dealing with all this must be a real headache for those guys. I should thank them again later. Alright, let's go wait inside the school. I'm sure they'll be here any moment. Hope that's not like a bad sign. They're not going to make it out of their meeting. Okay, so let's hit this one real quick. So Haru and Richter break into Shirishi residence with the detectives. They find a journal left behind by the deceased Iwa, finally revealing the mystery behind the kidnapping. However, Haru remains unsatisfied. Haru Tsujima, 1 p.m. Tsujima Mansion reception room. In further news, today the body of an adult male was discovered in the residence of one Toshiko Shirishi's around noon. The man, identified as Iwa, is said to have been in a relationship with Toshiko. He was unemployed at the time of his death. While further investigations are still underway, it's suspected that his death is connected to the recent serial killings in Honjo. Evidence on the scene may also implicate Mr. Iwa in the unsolved child abduction and murder case from last year. Well, ma'am, it seems like we managed to settle one part of the kidnapping case for now. Let's begin discussing our next steps. Right. He's always going at his own pace. He's rather fascinating. Judging by the official announcement, it seems that what Ira wrote is likely true. With both the kidnapper and his young accomplice dead, the police should be able to handle the rest. Now that it's over, I can't help but think how pitiful it all is. We never would have known a thing had we not found his journal. Carelessness is what usually leads to crimes like these being exposed. It was pretty much the same with the Najima murders. But stumbling across the answers by pure chance really makes you think. It makes my skin crawl to think how many cases like this are left undiscovered. Me too. It's certainly disturbing. Well, with the kidnapping case all wrapped up, we can focus our efforts on obtaining the right of resurrection, yes? Indeed. I'm counting on you. Alright, let's recess this cursed situation. Right. I must admit, I never expected the police to be so on top of things. The Chief Inspector, Tetsu Tsumi, provided us with a good wealth of information. I'm surprised he knew so much about the curse bearers. Do you think they noticed I'm one of them? I'm pretty sure Iro didn't. The Chief Inspector, on the other hand, we'll have to be careful around him. But if he had suspected anything, I'm sure he would have detained us. We should stay vigilant moving forward. Agreed. Even if we steal a cursed stone, you may not be able to successfully perform the rite unless a curse bearer yourself. Would you be okay with hanging on to the stone from now on? Of course. Just don't use it though, okay? Alright. I don't believe her when she says that. If what we heard is true, there are just 3 curse bearers left to be discovered. There's the Whispering Canal, the Beckoning Light, and the Tanko of Tsugura left to investigate. It may benefit us to visit the places connected to these stories a few times. I see. I'm still highly suspicious of the people of Hanako Soaps. They could be the ones pulling the strings. That Takumi Yumaoka fellow is probably aware of the curse bearers we're searching for. Tracking his movements may prove to be useful. You want to follow him? If we were able to follow anyone, he'd be my first choice, but damn it, times like this really have me wishing I had more personnel. I imagine it's tough working on your own. It's the plight of running a small business. I'm always on the hunt for a skilled assistant. And then there's Najima, who appears to be a curse bearer too. The one-sided read, I think it was. If we want to look for someone that's likely to gather a whole lot of soul dregs, we'll look no further. He did say he would unleash his curse on a large number of people at nightfall. If he gets a chance to, if the chief inspector manages to track down Michio, then, well, there's a chance he'll manage to apprehend Najima before he gets up to no good. But why did you tell the chief inspector about the safe house if he hadn't had that lead? It was written in Iowa's memoirs. It was just a matter of time till he found out. Besides, we're talking about a massacre here. I can't just turn a blind eye. How different it is from any other curse bearer collecting soul dregs. Well, if we're talking Najima, it could be a lot more dangerous. We'll just keep a close eye on Najima and the cops. What about that girl from before, Aomi Tono? Do you think she could be a curse bearer? Well, there's a chance she could have gone and stolen someone else's curse stone by now. That's possible too, but... We haven't been in Midorichi Park yet, the place connected to the Tanako of Tsukura. Alright, that's close to where she lives. What if she was a curse bearer this entire time? She could have lied. It's possible. It would make her a brilliant actress to boot. The idea's got me itching to investigate her again. That place is rather suspicious. If only we could run into someone there. Richter. Yes? That's right. Would you mind if we made a stop on our way? We can make it quick. I apologize for the diversion, but I'd like to visit a candy store if possible. I suppose I don't mind. Okay, don't have a reason to use the phone right now. Fax machine can send images to other places along the telephone network. I really find use for it. I've grown so used to seeing the scroll, I don't really give it a second thought. Sure, we don't have to look at everything. No matter how much I look at the flowers, they don't make me feel anything. Wonder what kind of music Richter is into. I imagine he likes English songs. I've stopped watching the news. There's too much fluff. I wish they'd cut out the pointless stories and just report on what's important. The ticking of the clock gets on my nerves sometimes. Okay, so I'm assuming we could probably just move. I suppose I should offer him some tea, but I don't really feel like it. Then, shall we depart? From this part on, you'll be given the opportunity to finish investigation, which will allow you to immediately end this part. From there, you can continue on to the next part. You may also come back and restart the section from the point which you left off. Okay, guys, so we're going to end it there, and we'll pick it back up with investigating with Richter and Haru. I hope you've been enjoying the story so far. It's really been interesting. It really took a massive turn with us being able to get in the Shirisi residence and seeing Iowa there and learning more about Najima. So if you've liked the video, please leave me a like. Subscribe if you haven't. Share this video with somebody who might enjoy it. And I'll see you next time. Bye.